morning, everyone. My name is Dana, and welcome to another episode of Curiosity Uncovered. Today, I want to take you on a short journey into the world of de-extinction, specifically the potential to resurrect one of North America's most iconic Ice Age predators, the dire wolf. Made famous by shows like Game of Thrones, the dire wolf was a real animal, larger and more robust than today's gray wolves, with powerful jaws built for crushing bone. But around 10,000 years ago, it vanished, likely due to climate change and competition with other predators. Now, thanks to breakthroughs in genetics and biotechnology, the idea of bringing the dire wolf back is shifting from science fiction to possible science fact. De-extinction, the idea of reviving extinct species, is no longer just science fiction. Thanks to rapid advances in genetics, genome editing, and synthetic biology, we're approaching a time when extinct animals could walk the earth again. Today, we'll explore one of the most intriguing candidates for de-extinction, the dire wolf. We'll look at what made them unique, how scientists might bring them back, and the potential impact of resurrecting this apex predator. Dire wolves roamed North and South America for hundreds and thousands of years, living alongside mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and early humans in the late Pleistocene era. They were apex predators, bigger than today's gray wolves and weighing around 150 to 200 pounds, with a more muscular frame and bone-crushing bite. But unlike gray wolves that hunted in packs for speed, dire wolves were likely suited for ambush and brute strength. They're also one of the most well-documented prehistoric predators, thanks to thousands of fossils found in places like the La Brea tar pits in California. For a long time, we assumed that they were just bigger versions of modern wolves, but a groundbreaking 2021 DNA study revealed something surprising. Dire wolves aren't actually wolves at all. They belong to an entirely separate lineage of canids that diverged from wolves about 6 million years ago, a different evolutionary branch that is now completely extinct. So de-extinction involves recreating or approximating an extinct species using biotechnology. There are a few ways that it can work. The first is cloning. This worked well for animals like Dolly the sheep, but cloning needs intact frozen cells, which we don't have for dire wolves. Selective breeding works by breeding animals with similar traits over generations, but also not really useful in this case because of the genetic distance between dire wolves and modern canines. The most promising path is genome editing using technology like CRISPR. Scientists can actually insert dire wolf DNA into the genome of close relatives in order to create a sort of hybrid organism with dire wolf traits. But here's the catch. Since dire wolves are genetically distant from gray wolves or coyotes, editing their genome would be much more complex. It's not just tweaking a few genes here and there. It could actually mean rebuilding entire sections of DNA or synthesizing a genome from scratch and inserting it into an artificial embryo. That's incredibly difficult, but we've already seen progress. Recently, Colossal Biosciences revealed that on October 1st, 2024, they successfully de-extincted dire wolves, welcoming 2 pups named Romulus and Remus. And then on January 30th of this year, they also welcomed Khaleesi, named for Game of Thrones. So over a span of 18 months, scientists extracted and sequenced DNA from 2 dire wolf fossils. One was a 13,000-year-old tooth from Sheridan Pit, Ohio, and another one was a 72,000-year-old inner ear bone from American Falls, Idaho. They then inserted dire wolf-specific traits into existing gray wolf cells, as gray wolves are dire wolves' closest living relative. The embryos were then implanted into domesticated dogs, and healthy dire wolf pups were then born. So a de-extinct dire wolf might not be an exact replica, but it could carry many of the same physical traits and ecological functions. So why would we even want to bring back an extinct predator? There are a couple of really cool reasons. The first could be for ecological restoration. So dire wolves were apex predators. Bringing back animals that fill lost ecological roles could actually help rebalance ecosystems. For example, Colossal Biosciences are also trying to bring back the woolly mammoth using Asian elephant DNA. And the woolly mammoths would then be released in environments like Siberia, where their grazing behavior would actually help to cut down on vegetation, which is useful for keeping the permafrost nice and frozen. Another reason that this could be beneficial for us is scientific knowledge. So reconstructing the direwolf's genome teaches us about evolution, genetics, and ancient biodiversity. It also allows us technological advancement. So these projects push forward the boundaries of what's possible in biotech and conservation. Another one is public engagement, because let's be honest, bringing back direwolves captures imagination and sparks interest in science and in wildlife conservation. But with all of this, we also need to ask, de-extinction isn't just about science. It's also about ethics, ecology, and responsibility. Should we bring back a species just because we can? Where would the direwolves live? The original ecosystems are gone. Releasing them into modern ecosystems could be dangerous for prey animals, for people, and even for the wolves themselves. Another question is, would they thrive? They may not be adapted to modern environments, diseases, or prey. And is it ethical? Creating sentient wild animals in a lab raises moral questions. Are we doing it for the animal's sake or for human curiosity? And then lastly, could this distract from real conservation? So some worry that focusing on resurrecting extinct species might actually take away funding from protecting endangered ones today or make people more complacent about wildlife conservation if we can magically bring back animals. So de-extinction is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a powerful tool, but one that must be used with caution. In the end, direwolf de-extinction is more than just bringing back a cool predator. It's about confronting extinction, exploring the limits of technology, and asking deep questions about our place in nature. While we may not see real direwolves roaming the forest tomorrow, the research being done today could redefine how we interact with life, past, present, and future. That's all I have for you today, but I hope to see you next time on another episode of Curiosity Uncovered.